Hi. My name is jazzpete. There are hundreds of home studio videos on YouTube, but not much on recording studios that are built for creating professional high-quality backing tracks, for small acts or one-man bands. Or, as, in my case, backing tracks for a one-man live guitar show. Because I did not need 50 mic inputs, or deal with live rooms, etc. The build has unique requirements. Rocky Mountain Sound is located in Victoria, B.C., Canada. The video takes you through the process from MIDI to master. Let's start with the computer build. Enjoy. Monitor used is a Samsung CF390. Next generation design. The virtually borderless display's striking aesthetic is enhanced by a fabric textured backside and premium quality slim metal stand. The chassis used was a Silverstone GD09 HTPC. Its low profile, and the front USB ports, made it suitable for placing on top of a small workstation desk. The USB ports provide fast access for external devices such as the Roland GR55, used for recording guitar tracks and MIDI input. Keyboards, used to trigger samplers and MIDI input. External hard drives, used for backup files. And disc burner, used for CDs and DVDs. Power supply used was a Thermaltake 750-watt, modular power supply. Supports motherboards with a 5-volt addressable RGB header from ASUS. The Smart Zero fan starts to operate when working load goes over 40%. The low-profile flat black cables make cable management easier, reduce clutter and increase airflow inside the chassis and the power supply. When it came to choosing the motherboard, I looked for a good multimedia board, not a gaming board. It needed to support a M2 solid-state drive. The board of choice was the ASUS Prime 490A. Has Intel LGA 1200 socket, ready for 10th Gen Intel Core processors. Enhanced power solution, 12 plus 2 DRMOS power stages. 6-layer PCB, Pro Cool sockets, alloy chokes and durable capacitors for stable power delivery. AI cooling, manages and controls all motherboard fans, automatically optimizing settings based on current system load and temperature. Comprehensive cooling, VRM heatsink, M.2 heatsink, hybrid fan headers and Fan Expert 4. Choosing the CPU was a bit more of a challenge. It is one of the more expensive items, so I looked for something with lots of overhead, but not so powerful that I was paying for something I did not need or would not use. The digital audio workstation has the option to use multi-core CPUs, so I went with the Intel i7 10700. It runs at 2.9 GHz without overclocking, has 8 cores and 16 threads. Memory choice was the Kingston HyperX Fury DDR4 3200. 8 GB modules for a total of 16 GB. Intel XMP ready. Disk drives are all solid state. No internal hard drives to reduce vibration and noise. First drive is a WD Black, SN750, NVMe, SSD, 250 GB. Used to store Windows 10, and all applications and plugins. Sleek heatsink designed to maintain peak performance. Drive 2 is a 250 GB SSD, used to store all DAW working files. Drive 3 is a 500 GB SSD, used to store all instrument samples. Well, that covers the basic heart of the recording studio. Let's move on to the digital audio interface. Looking at audio adapters, I looked at basic specs only. Instruments are recorded one track at a time, so minimum inputs are required. The M-Audio 2x2M has specifications equal to the most expensive adapters on the market, without the expensive add-ons. Transparent low-noise preamps and pristine A to D converters deliver highest performance in its class. It provides zero latency monitoring and support for MIDI gear. It provides 24-bit resolution for great dynamic range. Settings used are 24-bit, 44.1 with buffer set at 256K. The digital audio workstation, I have been using Cakewalk, on and off, for the past 30 years. Started when it was just a basic MIDI application. When I examined DAW options, I stripped out all third-party plugins and studied the basic DAW on its own. Cannot find a good reason to change. Most important, it has excellent MIDI support. Cakewalk is a Windows-only platform, so compatibility comes standard. Ensuring support on all the most current Windows platforms. Advanced 64-bit mix engine. Delivers clean, Dynamic, accurate mixes every time. Supports the most stable, accurate, and efficient plug-in format for Windows machines, so you can use more effects and synths in your project. Navigate your projects with the award-winning fully customizable Skylight interface. As a legacy owner of Sonar Platinum, I am able to link Cakewalk to Sonar and use the legacy plugins of choice. More on this later. Mastering a song. This is a critical stage in producing a polished professional backing track. I tried standalone applications such as Ozone 9. While it provides excellent tools, it proved to be overkill. Having complete control of the finished tracks, including gain staging, instrument modeling, effects etc. From MIDI to finished mix, there is little to do in the mastering stage. As I mentioned, being able to link Cakewalk to the legacy Sonar Platinum gave me the ability to use legacy plugins. My mastering tools are the linear phase equalizer, the linear phase multiband compressor, and the linear phase adaptive limiter. This is the same approach as using the FabFilter suite for mastering. This was a perfect example of less is more. Backing tracks are created using MIDI input to create songs. To save time, I try to find a MIDI file of the song I want on the internet. This gives access to thousands of musicians around the world. When I download the MIDI file, I can delete, change and add MIDI information until I have the MIDI tracks I want to work with. I use Band-in-a-Box as a song creation tool. The software allows the user to create songs by simple keyboard inputs, a musical style, a tempo and a key. The screen resembles a blank page of music. Another must-have tool is the function to import a drum track into Band-in-a-Box and then export the MIDI drum information to individual tracks. Cakewalk supports the use of Band-in-a-Box within the DAW. My go-to virtual instrument is Sample Tank 4 Max. Created MIDI files are used to trigger over 8,000 instrument presets. This library uses over 260 GB of storage on Drive 3. Sample Tank 4's new library is the product of dozens of carefully conducted recording sessions in multiple cities across Europe and the United States, as well as in a new, custom-built recording facility in Italy. High-quality recordings of concert piano, keyboards, guitars, bass, drums, strings, brass, synths, vocals, percussion and more, over 90,000 new samples in total, all with articulations and round robins. Sample Tank 4 has 70 effects. You can shape your sound with the same effects heard on countless hit records and film scores. Reference speakers. Used a pair of Yamaha HS5 self-powered speakers. HS series speakers were designed to give you the most honest, precise reference possible, providing an ideal sonic platform to build on throughout the mixing process. Two-way bass reflex bi-amplified near-field studio monitor, with 5-inch cone woofer and 1-inch dome tweeter. Frequency response, 54 Hz to 30 kHz, -10 dB, 74 Hz to 24 kHz, -3 dB. Power amplification, 45 watts low frequency plus 25 watts high frequency bi-amp system for high performance. 70 watts total. Room control and high trim response controls. Low frequencies roll off pretty early, but most mastered songs are listened to on tablets and mobile phones, so it is a good fit. I use headphones when 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz frequency response is required. Headphones. I am using the Audio-Technica ATH M50X. The M50X provides an unmatched experience for the most critical audio professionals. Outstanding comfort, perfect for long sessions in the studio. Frequency response 15 to 28,000 Hz. For recording guitar and playing live shows, I use the Roland GR55 guitar synthesizer. The Roland GR55 is a revolution in guitar synthesis, with features never before available in any guitar processor. In terms of speed, it's the fastest ever. It's also the most accurate, thanks to newly developed pitch detection technology. As for sound, the triple-core generator houses a world-class array of virtual guitars, basses, amps, and synth voices, enabling tones and textures that have never been heard before. On stage or in the studio, you can instantly access the GR55's huge library of ready-to-use sounds, from pop to rock and beyond, with quick access category buttons. The Cosm guitar modeling engine needs zero detection time, allowing the GR55 to respond instantly and exactly as you play. The GR55 detects pitch, velocity, and behavior for unprecedented response to your performance. It has a built-in USB audio player that plays the 24-bit mastered backing tracks. My instrument of choice has came down to the Godin ACS Slim. I played and recorded with the Godin LGX SA, flagship of the Godin line of MIDI guitars, but found after many hours of recording that I did not need the guitar pickups and was not using many of its features. All guitar and amp models used are from the Roland GR55. The ACS Slim is a classical guitar with built-in MIDI pickup, capable of triggering all models of guitars and synth sounds. The ACS has a cedar top with a maple body, slight tummy cut and bolt-on neck with dual truss rod. Has a huge cutaway, is light, responsive and easy to play. The electronics really shine. It has regular guitar output and a 13-pin Roland Ready MIDI output. Individual saddle transducers. Master volume, 3 EQs, bass, middle, treble, mid-frequency switch, 700 Hz to 1200 Hz, synth volume control and 2 switches to turn synth GR55 features on or off. Well, that completes the tour. But in closing I would like to add an important step. The motherboard BIOS, and Windows 10, were tweaked for music production using the recommendations provided by moltenmusic.com. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe.